Hey, so I just got off the phone with Fleet Pride. I said, screw it. Let's just spend the money and have them try to fix everything, anything to do with the brakes, and get it through inspection. Also fix that equalizer in the back. I'm just gonna pay them to do it. I told them if we could please have it done today or tomorrow, I'll pay whatever. I really do want to get back to work. I know I've said this, I don't need to, but it's like, I'm just getting antsy at this point. We have money set aside for this type of situation and everything, but I think I've gone through, I'd like to say all said and done, I'll probably have spent about, in the last 3.5, 4 weeks, probably about 10 grand to get everything, you know, back up to par. And it just all comes with the business. This is something people need to understand. If you're getting into the business and you're looking at the money that these guys make, so if you're looking at the money these guys are making, at the end of the day, there is going to be times where you will have to put out a large amount of money to get your stuff back up to par and legal. Now the point is, you'll see all these guys out here making all this money, and that's, you know, what everybody says, you know, oh, we're making this. But at the end of the day, you got to realize that this is just something you are going to have to deal with after, you know, you've used your equipment so long. You will have to refurbish your equipment, whether it be one thing or a bunch of things. It's just one of those things you're going to have to expect. So don't come out here thinking you're going to make $1 billion and be rich and, oh yeah, you don't have to put money into things. Everything costs money. So that's basically what I'm doing now, is taking the time to make sure that equipment is 100%. And I'm really hoping that by tomorrow we can be hitting the road Saturday, because I told them by tomorrow get the trailer done. So Fleet Pride will be handling the brakes, the equalizer bushings, the equalizer itself, the welding on the trailer. I just told them, go ahead, do everything, and let's see if we can't get on the road. Because you also got to realize, so with the company that I'm leased under, any load that I do next week, I won't get paid for until the following week. So I already will not get paid for another 2 weeks as of right now. So if I don't drop a load today, that means I don't get paid next week. So that's just how that works. That's how the pay scale works. So, okay, so we're taking the truck now to go get Liam. And I want to make this point because with the 12 valve swap and the gauges, so you guys can see here, every one of the gauges work except for the oil pressure gauge. And that's quite simply because I did not actually put the oil pressure gauge, that sensor in, because from the common rail to the 12 valve, it is a different sensor. So I don't really care for that one anyway, just because it's not a real gauge, it's just a dummy, whereas the rest of them are real gauges. So with the swap, I'm trying to basically eliminate everything that just is unnecessary, and that oil pressure switch or sensor, or whatever you want to call it from the factory, is just that, it's unnecessary. I have a real oil pressure gauge right here that tells me my actual real numbers. So I think I went through a while ago and I've cut like everything on the harness that isn't needed, and I'm gonna go through and actually get a custom made harness for everything that I do decide to keep on the truck and what I don't. So also in the plans, I'm looking for a deep cycle, like a really, really good single battery system to get rid of that second battery, because the second battery is just unnecessary. It's basically that. I ran one battery before and it was fine, and this thing started up all the time with one battery. Now don't get me wrong, the 2 battery is gonna be way faster when you go to crank the starter and everything, that's normal, but it is just, you don't need it there, especially for a 12 valve. So the 12 valve only came with 1 battery anyway from the factory, and I don't know, I'm trying to go through, I want to cut as much weight as possible, like whatever makes sense to get rid of, that's what I want to do. And we'll also be looking for sometime next year a 3500 to swap everything from this truck over to that truck, so that I can have a 3500 GVWR and VIN number, because I do want the 11.5 after I get the CDL, which this truck's only 9, so it really sucks. Very easy to overload. I think full of fuel, this truck was like 9,800 pounds. So we've definitely cut out a good bit of weight from that. And yes, I know the front bumper I could do away with. We will see. I want to keep the front bumper, but we will see what I need to do to get the weight under that 9,000. And then when I get it under 9,000 and I up it to 11.5, that will give the truck an extra 2,500 pounds that can go onto that from the trailer. So, because when you put weight on a trailer, some of that goes over to the truck. That's what I want to do. We'll see how it works out, but I just wanted to make that point that yes, every gauge on the dash with when you do a 12 valve swap on a 3rd gen, it all works if you use the factory sensors, but the crank and the crank sensor, you definitely need the crank sensor for all the other stuff. All right, so we just got 20 gallons of waste oil from my dad's shop. So figure I get it for free and he gets it out of there without having to pay anybody. 20 gallons is 20 gallons. We'll go from there. So I gotta pick up some spare fuel filters, and then the truck is good to go for the road. Look at that, that thing is pretty. Truck is good to go for the road, but the trailer we're still waiting on. I haven't gotten a call back from Fleet Pride, but we will see what they say tomorrow. If they're done tomorrow, I'm going on the road Saturday. I will get 3 loads out on Saturday, so now's the time to go. All right, so it's the next day. It's later in the day. I've been waiting on them. It's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 4:10. And I've been waiting for them to get this trailer done. And a lot of you guys mentioned about the trailer magnets, so I'm gonna go ahead and start working on that. And I'm glad that I told them to stop, because here is what I wanna talk about. Everybody talks about how good the money is in this industry, and I mentioned something about this yesterday. I don't exactly remember what I mentioned. But if you don't enjoy driving, you don't enjoy hauling, you don't enjoy this is not the industry for you. And I say that, like, I got into this industry because I enjoyed it. Yes, it helps that the money's really good, but I enjoy it. And I'm taking my time trying to get everything done correctly. There you go, right? So I took my trailer in to go, you know, get looked at, get repaired, and I got some things fabricated, and, you know, great, okay? The bill from Fleet Pride is $1,150. That's pretty up there. If you are someone who cannot work on your own equipment, this is why I stress. Don't get into this industry if this isn't what you like, if this isn't what you want to do. Because I love working on stuff, and I love basically everything to do with the industry. I just love it. It's what I enjoy doing. And I know that I have a better life now than I did before I did this. But every now and again, you are going to have to spend an obnoxious amount of money on your equipment. It's just gonna happen. And couple that with the fact that you can get into an accident at pretty much any time. I've been accident-free in this truck since I bought it, and it got in its first accident. I'd like to say that in the last 3-4 weeks that I've been off, including all the damage to the truck, I've spent right around 10 grand is what I spent. In the last, I think I've been off now for 4 weeks. As of today. Today will probably be the 4-week mark. So the reason I want to talk about this is because, like, this seems to be a popular topic right now, and I want to chime in on it, okay? I did my video on how much money I grossed. I specifically told you guys that that was a gross number, and everybody's expenses are going to be different. Whereas I am right around 50-60% of the money I make, I'll pretty much get to keep or throw back. But at the same time, you also need to remember that you need to save money, and you need to set money aside, and that's what I do. I'm a very stingy person. I keep as much money in my pocket as possible. I don't buy dumb things I don't need. I don't buy things a lot of times that I even want. Like, case in point, I've wanted mega cab flares forever. It was only $700. I waited 2 years to make that purchase, okay? I put a 12 valve in my truck because it cost me $1,500 for an engine as opposed to a $6,000 overhaul. It's things like that, and because I can work on my stuff, I can save money. If you're not one of those people that can, it makes it a lot harder, especially if you don't enjoy it. It's like, don't go out and quit your dream job, or don't go out and quit, you know, a job that you're miserable at just to come do something else you're gonna be miserable at. This is a lifestyle. This is something that you do because you enjoy it. And that's how I see it. Yes, the money's great, okay? I can tell you that. But at the same time, you are going to have to spend that money every now and again, especially you go out and buy new equipment, you buy old equipment, it doesn't matter. You buy new equipment, you get a payment. You buy old equipment, you get something that you're gonna have to work on more. It's just the gist of it, okay? This is almost a brand new trailer, and these non-CDL, and this one's not even a non-CDL trailer, but these non-CDL trailers, they're gonna cost you money as well down the road. It's like a tandem dually trailer, honestly, I feel is the best way to go. These are 3 7K axles. A 7K axle is basically a glorified camper axle. That's all it is. So, that's all I'm saying. I hope some of you guys get the point to this, but you are gonna wanna save your money. You're gonna wanna set your money aside. I remember Alex, Toe Piglet, made a mention of this at one point. You get in your first week and you see some money just hit the account for the first load that you did. Say like 3 grand just hit the account. You're not used to that. You're used to making, what, $700-800 a week at your normal job. And you see $3,000 hit the account and you're like, let's go out and spend it. And a lot of us, including myself, are under the logic of, hey, I just got that money, I'm gonna set 60% of it aside. That's just what I do. That's how, maybe not 60%, but I think I was taking a good 40% of it. Yeah, 40% is about what I was taking and setting aside, but you guys get the point. So, end rant, we're gonna go get the trailer. I'm gonna do a walk around on the trailer, see what you guys think. And we'll go from there. Also, I gotta get rid of these visor because a lot of you guys mentioned about the lights being on. Yeah, I came out today and it was on. Thing is, I've been using electrical tape, putting it up there and closing it, and it turns it off, but I came out today and it was on, but the truck started right up, so I just need to get a new visor or a lid for it, so no big deal. All right, so here we're gonna go over the bill. Now, granted, most of you guys, this isn't a lot of money. For me, this is kind of a lot just because of the fact that I don't ever pay anybody to do my work, but $11.56, okay? So I'm gonna go over basically everything they did. They built tire brackets on the neck of trailer, or holders, or whatever you wanna call them. They basically welded on some some stuff to hold the tires. They also welded the tire chain holders, and they did some intermittent works with the brakes, but couldn't locate it. I told them, you know, only spend so much on that. It looks like they only did spend an hour on that. And then equalizer bushing, they did order the parts. They checked everything. They put it all back together just so that I could get it down the road. And then they're gonna be replacing that on Monday. So this isn't even the total bill. But yeah, so $11.56. And this is what we got. So let's go over this trailer, okay? So we got our tires mounted up here. Basically just a long piece of thread. This is a 24 mil bolt to match the 24s on the truck. I get we could have went with the 21s that were on the side. The only thing I didn't like, I should have made mention of this, but this tire mount is higher than this one. I get they avoided getting rid of that. I should have said something. I didn't realize it. So this tire is mounted lower. Now it does make sense that this tire is mounted lower because it makes it easier to access. Whereas this one is only mounted so high because of this thing right here. Now, I didn't take into account that, but they did keep the tire under the neck, which is definitely what I wanted, just because I do plan on putting a top deck up here. You guys see they put some really, really thick brackets up here for these. So these I'm super happy with. So that's basically what they did. So they welded those two on for me, and then they welded the tire chains. And then over here, they were messing with the brakes, which, let's see. Ooh, I need to pull up a little bit. But looks like they were messing with the brakes a little bit. I believe so. I don't know how in-depth they really got, but that looks fresh. So I told them just to cut it out, and I'll figure it out when I get it. Basically, what I am gonna do, you guys see right there. Yeah, you can definitely see that that's worn out. So they put a new cotter pin on that, but the parts will be in Monday for that. The equalizer, they said, does not need replaced, just the bushing in there, and then the bushing there too. So the equalizers will keep. I'm gonna order these in bulk for the next time. So I will definitely 100%, if this ever happens again, I'll be able to replace it myself, and we'll go from there. But that's what they did, okay? And then they painted the welds and whatnot, so. Fairly simple, right? This is something that anybody could have done, and for super cheap, you do it yourself, and not a big deal. But you pay somebody to do it, it costs a bit of money. It is what it is. So this is, like I said, where it comes into play. Make all this money, you need to set a lot of money aside to pay for stuff like this. Just, it's simple as that. So what I'm gonna do is I wanna get these torn apart. I think I'm gonna get the brakes up in the air and pull the brake away and see which ones aren't spinning. I'm gonna do that test again just to see if I can narrow any down. If I find some that do work, I will ignore those. And I have 4 backing plates, so I think I'm just gonna replace 4 of them for now and hope like hell I get lucky with 2 other ones while I have 2 on order. Just enough to get it through the DOT inspection, which I did ask them. I wanted this moved to the back and they didn't do that for me, so I will talk to them about it. But I think seeing how expensive the bill was, I'm probably never gonna take, you know, my equipment anywhere to do stuff like that again, just because now I get, you know, they had to do welding stuff, so yes, that gets pretty expensive. I think it was like 540 bucks for, I think it was the labor, I believe. I don't remember. I'll actually have to look at this, but let me see. $504 for labor, miscellaneous equipment repair. Yeah, so you guys can see like 156, 504, 120. This will be stuff that comes in on Monday. I don't know, they may have charged me for that. I think they already charged me for that. I don't remember. I'm not going to show you the other side because it has my credit card information and whatnot, but it says 210 on the other side. So between everything, oh, here we go. There we go. I can just show you there. Parts $12, total labor $960, total miscellaneous $18, and then shop supplies $100. So $11.56 after taxes. There we go. Whatever. So you guys get the point. I'm trying to help everybody out here. You know, this isn't all money, rainbows, and kittens and shit out here. This is, you know, you sometimes got to bite the bullet and buy stuff. Now, the best advice that I can give you out in this business is to be frugal, be cheap, but don't be stupid. There is a point in being cheap. Like, I got a good truck and I got a good trailer. This is a relatively conservative setup. This is a very cheap setup. Like, I'm gonna put it to you that way, considering new trucks can range you from like $50,000 to $100,000. New trailers can be expensive. $10,000 truck, $15,000 truck, and a $10,000 trailer. If I would have bought this new, it would have been $30,000 for the truck and the trailer, because this is like a 15K trailer is what I believe it is. Trailer prices have gotten insane, have gotten so high. I think I got bit, and it's just crazy. So let's get to work. Done explaining it. Hopefully you guys get the point. And basically, I think at the end of the day, my next goal in this industry, this is going to be the next thing I'm working towards. I want to be out here running paper logs and be a CDL driver. That's my next goal, step up in this business. And you know, at some point you're going to get to the point where you are at the top, and that's basically, you can't really upgrade anymore. But in my case, you know, this right now, this is what is going to build this business to start out with. So that's the next goal we're working towards. I told you guys in the beginning of the year, my goal was to get a Kaufman 3 car, and that's exactly what I got. So now we work into the next goal, CDL, paper logs, which I'm already paper logged, so I'm already halfway there. All right, now someone in the comments had mentioned about using bottle jacks on stone, and definitely need to use jack stands and whatnot. Basically, this axle is the only one jacked up. These two are in the air just because of the angle of the stones. But if this thing were to fall off the jack, it's gonna go an inch. So that's why you guys saw in my last video where I had like all 3 axles in the air and only one axle or one tire was off at each time. If it would have ever fallen, nobody would have gotten hurt. But I definitely recommend you using jack stands just because. But in my case, like, if this falls, it's really not going to go anywhere, especially if I take one, like if I take this wheel off and this falls, these two are going to catch in an inch. So not too big a deal. But I'm going to go hit the breakaway and we'll see if the tires stop. I doubt they will. All right, so good news, this tire locked up. This one did something, this one did nothing. It's still spinning actually. So what I'm going to do is this brake I'm going to replace, because this one probably just needs adjusted. This brake does not work at all, so I'm going to replace both of these backing plates. Even though that one probably just needs adjusted, why worry about problems? I'm going to order 2 more backing plates on Amazon. They're 200 bucks for all 4 backing plates. So that one there works perfectly, not going to touch it. These two, let's get some backing plates swapped out. Okay, so I got on YouTube earlier. I was looking up some tutorials on like how this stuff works, since, you know, I know a little bit about trailer brakes, but I'm not an expert. And they said that the holes on here are basically a wear marker. So I didn't know this was a thing. So now that I do, and I've been doing more research, obviously this backing plate needs replaced. You can see there's like literally no holes left. So this set of brakes bad. Obviously, yes, you can just replace the magnet, but with how cheap these things are, don't do that. Just replace, you guys can see right here, just replace the entire thing. It'll even say on here left hand side. So I'm learning, and it's 5 nuts, and you literally just slap the new one on, 2 wires, easy as that, done and done. So that's what I'm gonna do, and yeah, let's get that done. So you guys can see the holes on a brand new one. Now, I wish that I would have known this when I was doing the bearings, but you learn new things every day, and that's basically what it is. So no expert, but certainly, you know, can figure it out. A little bit of help from Google and YouTube. So all right, so I'm gonna spin this wheel here, and that's the one I just replaced. I'm gonna show you guys the brakes work on that one now, so that makes sense that those magnets are just piles of crap. If you're ever gonna pull your brake away, make sure you use make sure you wrap it around your hand so you don't slice your hand like I did the one day. You can see it stopped moving, like that's dead in its tracks. This one here, boom, no movement. This one, yeah, that one needs worked on, and then that one locked. So I'm gonna assume the one just needs adjustment, but that doesn't matter to me. I'm just gonna replace it as per the advice in the comments. And I don't know how old these brakes are, but pop it back in. I heard a click. You roll, this one's junk, and you roll. Cool, so let's do this one quick. I should have brought a, oh, that is a left. Okay, cool. So I brought 2 left-hand backing plates out, get it swapped out. Look at that, there's your short. So all those holes are pretty much gone, at least on the front half. So let's replace this one too. I doubt I'm ever gonna get any adjustability out of that, just because of, you can see how much rust and corrosion's in there. But get the wires cut, get this thing pulled off, and swap the new one on. I'm gonna assume the front one's just as bad, but I can't replace it today because I don't have one, so I'm just gonna order those other 2. I'll be done with it. All right, I spun them. The one for some reason stopped spinning, but let's come over here, wrap our hand around the breakaway, and bam! None of them better be moving. Look at that, they all not moving. The front one wasn't moving to begin with, but let's see. Will you lock? Boom, locked. Will you lock? That one's locked. Look at that, 3 good brakes. That's awesome. Now, let's do the other side. Before we do the other side, let's see if they all spin now. 1, 2, 3, look at that. They all spin. All right, once again, breakaway is pulled. All 3 axles are up in the air. The center axle is a little lower than the rest of them. But let's see. That brake is good. That brake's fine. For some reason, that brake isn't. So we're gonna deal with this one. This one I can move a little bit, and this one's definitely good. So same thing, we're gonna replace the 2 back ones just because. So we'll have 4 brand new brakes on the back 4 axles. That's awesome. All right, so before it gets too dark, I am gonna pull the breakaway controller box thing, whatever the hell you wanna call it, up here, and show you that we have 6, well, 3 good working brakes, because I already showed you this side, so I'm gonna show you the other 3. Let's go back here, check it out. We shouldn't have short anymore on our box, but that one locks up, that one locks up, and boom, that one locks up. So 6 good working brakes. That's 5 plus 1 good working brakes. So that's pretty much gonna do it for this video. I want you guys to ask yourselves, for the guys that are trying to get into this industry, and the guys that want to get into this industry that aren't already in it, and the guys who are already in it. Ask yourselves this: what are you in this business for? What are you doing it for? And if you do say money, unfortunately, it's really the wrong reason, but that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys down below think. I'm gonna get this whole mess cleaned up, and then I'm gonna get out of here. I am done for the night. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you in the next video. Drop some suggestions below, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.